I'm going to explain it to you real quick. We rolling yet? There's a reason for it.
I want to tell you a funny story. Just recently, I wanted to license one of your songs. A friend of mine licensed. He uses this song for his intro, and I was fascinated to know. I didn't realize it at the time that this song right here. Can you hear it? Okay. You'll recognize it in a second. I didn't realize at the time that they took this from your album. Do you know this song?
Can you hold it up to your microphone? Oh, you are holding it up to me. I'm not hearing it.
Not loud enough?
Back on my bullshit.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hear Sirius. So I don't think it's my version.
It's definitely Sirius, and this guy Fabulous licensed it, and I was curious. I don't know a lot about the music business, although I did have an opportunity to recently interview a music executive. A song like that you guys had from such a long time ago, do you continue to get paid on that? Is that still something that's in your domain? How does that work?
When a song or an instrumental piece gets used in a movie or in a TV commercial or TV series, anything like that, the creator of that video document has to get what's called a sync license, and that has to be passed through the record label if they're using the original version, and with the publisher. So the answer is yes. They will pay a fee to the record label and the publisher, and then some of that comes back to me. But unfortunately, when the biggest use of Sirius has been in sports stadiums, notably for Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, and he obviously, Sirius is a big part of Michael Jordan's persona, as it were. But when a song gets played in a venue or a stadium, a sports stadium, it's just covered under the kind of the blanket license that the collection agencies have. So I don't earn a penny out of Michael Jordan, unfortunately.
Really?
But but of course the popularity of it transfers across to commercials. I mean, it was used in Cloudy with a Chance for Meatballs, and it was used on a Purdue chicken commercial. It's it's obviously the sports connection that has made it popular through other media.
Right. Yeah. But I remember listening to the album when I was younger, and what's interesting to me is I'll tell you a little bit of a story before we get into The Secret, which was The Secret your latest release?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So I'll tell you a little bit of story. So I ran a hedge fund for many years, and we were creating this algorithm to trade stocks for my hedge fund. And we had a programmer long before that movie with Michael Myers. We had a program, and we needed to name it a program, and so we named it like 20-something years ago. We named it the Alan Parsons Project, and it was a built program. We ultimately sold it, and it was a trading algorithm. And then when Willie told me that you were agreed to an interview, I'm almost dumbfounded by the fact that this is the case. Do you still get people that are starstruck after this many years?
Yes. I mean, it's if you're a performing rock musician, there's always going to be people who get tearful when they meet you, or emotional, or whatever. But that's fine. I spent a good deal of my career being pretty unrecognizable. I didn't really. It's not that I shied away from cameras, but it took a long time, and until we've been playing live for many years, that people would ever recognize me. So so I could shop at Costco and Macy's and stuff without ever feeling the pressure to identify myself.
It doesn't feel. Is it strange to be an iconic person in an iconic band in an iconic project with iconic music and live sort of a normal life where people don't recognize you from time to time? Because when I heard you were going to do the show, I actually said to Willie and everyone, I'm like, "You're sure it's Alan Parsons, right? The guy from the Alan Parsons Project is going to be on my show. Are you sure this is the case? Can you make sure this isn't some other Alan Parsons, like a country western guy who's accidentally using his name?" I'm curious what it's like for you to realize how iconic the band is, iconic what you've done is, relative to your daily life.
I'm taking all this as a compliment. Thank you very much, but I'm pretty modest about these things. I would never use the word iconic in describing myself, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I talked to people that were coming on the show, and it's it's one of the most recognizable. I mean, it's one of the most recognizable album. Anyways, I'm going to belabor it. Willie's going to tell me to shut up, but I'm a huge fan, and I'm super excited that you agreed to do the show. I listened to The Secret a little bit. What did you think of the album? I mean, what I read was it was about the fact that you love magic. That's what you released it for. But what was the meaning behind it?
It stems from my hobby since childhood, which is just performing magic. I'm no great. I'm not somebody who can go out and actually make money as a magician. I just enjoy doing tricks at parties and sitting at a bar. I'll do a trick or two, whatever.
Are you any good at it? Are you any good at it?
It is my hobby. It is my hobby, and that's why I felt it would be nice to make an album about my passion, one of my passions in life, which is the not just doing magic, but watching magic, sharing the history of magic and so on.
Alan, do you perform at the Magic Castle?
No, I'm not anywhere near that kind of standard. I'm just an amateur magician, and I love watching other magicians. I love learning from other magicians. I just do cards and coins and sometimes prediction effects, mental effects, as we call them.
Do you have a favorite musician? Like someone someone who's really amazing that you like to see?
I think David Copperfield is incredible. I've met him a couple of times. There's a few you wouldn't have even heard of them, but there's a lot of names within the magic fraternity that spring to mind. I could produce a list this long, but you wouldn't have heard of it.
When I saw David Copperfield perform, and I particularly like magic and watching it, I'm a little mesmerized by how I can watch the screen and watch them doing it, and don't have any idea how they did it. Like I don't have any clue. There's a lot of people on TikTok now doing magic on TikTok, and when I saw David Copperfield, I was in the audience, and I watched him levitate a rose in front of me, which I thought was crazy. But what was crazier was I saw him in the audience on the stage, and he was on a motorcycle, and then he appeared, the motorcycle disappeared, and he appeared at the back of the arena right behind me.
Right.
So
that's a very strong trick, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is how it's possible. I watched it with my own eyes. He was right in front of me. There wouldn't even have been enough time to run back there to be back there. So how does something like that happen? He literally was on a motorcycle on the stage, and then he appeared behind me. What's going on? I mean,
there's one thing that's very, very clear to me, and is that there is a magician's code. You never reveal the secret of a trick to anybody. And some magicians are even protective about sharing their secrets with other magicians. I mean, I know how that trick's done, but I couldn't possibly tell you.
Wow.
I would be strangled by, I mean, there would be 20 magicians on my doorstep ready to dispose of me. I'm not, it's just, I mean, it's just a general theme. I mean, we don't really go deep into the actual concept of magical performance and stuff. It's just that most of the songs have the word magic in them, or deal with mysterious stuff. There's a song called Miracle, for example. Magicians love to use that word miracle.
I was just listening to it, actually. I was just listening to it this morning.
We were very fortunate to get Jason Mraz to sing it for us on the album.
Right.
He was a great guy to work with, and we're both avocado farmers.
My daughter Jason is one of my daughter's favorite, and I saw that you did a song with him, so I was playing it this morning. I see a lot more collaborations where, I mean, it happens a lot more now. Are you doing any new collaborations at all with people like Jason?
I'm in the throes of recording a new record now, but it's always been a policy of mine not necessarily to get the singer involved until the track is basically finished, apart from vocals, and that's what we did on all the songs on The Secret. We got Lou Gramm from Foreigner to sing one of the songs. Literally, it was the last thing to happen. And I love collaboration. I love working with other artists from other genres. It's something I've always done and something I always enjoy doing.
Well, obviously, we'll talk later about the fact that you have worked on amazing, like indescribable albums that are, one album you worked on I listen to every day. But I wonder, with Parsonics, your new studio, there's not a lot of new studios being made, I don't think. What was the reason for that? And are you using it for yourself only, or are you letting other people use it? What's the point of you creating that in Santa Barbara?
We are renting it out, to friends and people I know well. I'm not sure I'm going to be totally opening it up commercially. I have plenty of work to do in there. Like I said, I'm working on a new album right now. I've been remixing back catalog stuff. We remixed Ammonia Avenue earlier this year in surround, and also in stereo, a new stereo mix as well. And I've also been mixing 2 live shows, both of which have now been signed to Frontiers, the Italian record label. One shot in Holland, in Utrecht, and the other with full symphony orchestra in Tel Aviv.
Wow!
And those were both shots in 2018. But we're very much hoping that those 2 live shows will come out this year. Of course, I think people are hungry to see live shows because there haven't been any. So I'm hopeful that people will respond to these recorded live shows.
I think that's an understatement. I think people are pretty pumped up about going to see live shows again, for sure. When's the last time you, if ever, you played in Las Vegas? I'm sure you have, but when's the last time you played here?
Oh, I think I would say probably March of 2018, around then.
Wow.
And that's when, or was it March? No, 2019. Must have been 2020 didn't exist, remember?
It just
2020 just went away.
Yeah, it was like it didn't happen.
There's a huge suddenly a huge interest in what have become known as immersive formats. My studio is actually only capable of doing what has been for years the only surround format. That's 5.1 surround, which is left, center, right at the front, and then 2 left and right speakers behind you. Dolby Atmos is gaining popularity. I'm giving consideration to installing the necessary number of speakers in my studio. It means that you have to put speakers above you as well as in front of you, and at the side of you as well. And I didn't I didn't anticipate doing that when I built the studio, so I've got to figure out whether I really want to do that. The Sony 360, that's also been addressed by Sony because I'm on their label. All the project albums after Tales of Mystery are on Sony now, and they've been formatted from the stereo tapes into 360, and I think it is an improvement. But there are some amazing headphone systems that have come out recently, and you can even sit at a laptop like I am now and hear sound coming from behind you out of the laptop speakers. It's remarkable. So yeah, and of course for game enthusiasts, sound, surround sound has suddenly become very much a part of that, and virtual reality and artificial intelligence, all these things, all need really good and innovative sound formats to go with them. Well, the desk in my studio is an analog desk. I mean, this is what Rupert did for his long and very successful life as a studio console designer. The console I have is very much analog, very much the epitome of Rupert's previous designs, and basically everything on The Secret that was recorded, it was all analog until it reached the computer in Pro Tools. If we'd had a tape machine there, the whole thing would have been analog. So it's not a digital console; it's a analog console, and I choose to use analog signal paths as much as possible, and I do my best work. If you're on a proper console rather than what we call in the box. If we're in the box, it means that everything is just done with mouse clicks and running around the screen, turning levels of things up and down on imaginary faders. It's so much nicer to have a real console with real channels, real EQ, real faders that you can push up and down to be interactive with the music. And I do feel that people that are recording in the box are missing, that experience.
I grew up listening to your music, my mom and my family, and so it's a strange thing. I know how old you are and how old I am, and to think that we're not that far apart relative. But when I was a kid, I was listening to you. You have a stepson, Jordan Huffman. I was listening to his song. There was only one that I could find on Apple. And I don't know whether it's not, the whole album's not released yet. But I could hear that kind of sound you made before. I wondered, did you help produce it, or did you do the album for him in terms of production, engineer it? Because it sure sounded to me like something I've heard from you before, in the sense that it had that tone to it.
The answer is all of the above. Yes, I was totally involved right from the beginning. Jordan is my son-in-law, married to my stepdaughter Tabitha, and we've spent a lot of time together. He's a very talented singer, very talented. He actually appeared on The Secret on one of the tracks, and the soon-to-be released song by Jordan is called "The Never Ending Show." And that's going to be the title of the Utrecht video, the Dutch video, live video that I talked about earlier on. So that's going to be a big feature of the next release on both on CD, vinyl, and on Blu-ray. So we're really looking forward to that. We've done a super video for Jordan's song, which was all done at this amazing circus paraphernalia warehouse in Riverside, California, and some wonderful images that we recorded for the video. So I'm hoping that it will be out, say, August, September, that kind of time. But John's a very talented guy. I've enjoyed working with him very much. He's been here in California with his wife, my daughter, my stepdaughter, for a couple of weeks, and he's got family up in Northern California, so they've been visiting there as well as with us. But yes, they I think will be going back to Nashville in a few days.
You know, I was going to go to the avocado ranch. I couldn't help it. So, as a fan of avocados, as my wife makes I would guarantee you that my wife makes the best avocado toast in the whole world. I assure you that I'm right on this topic. What got you into the avocado business?
Just finding our house, which happened to have an avocado ranch on it. It's a beautiful house in the hills, way above the town of Santa Barbara, and we continue to grow 40 acres. The property is 40 acres, but we probably half of them are avocado trees, and we also grow an exotic fruit called the yuzu lime. That's Yuzu, and that is the fruit that Japanese use for ponzu sauce. That's the main ingredient of ponzu sauce in Japanese restaurants.
When you have avocados and they all grow like that, I've seen these kind of harvests. Like, how many harvests do you have a year? Do you have 2 or 1 of avocados?
Certainly two. I think maybe even sometimes 3. Because they're not necessarily all totally synchronized with each other, the various trees. I should mention that also that you say that was it your wife makes the best avocado toast?
It's my wife.
I get asked regularly to do this event in Santa Barbara called the Santa Barbara Avocado Festival. And I judge a guacamole contest every year.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, I promise you, I'm going to find out when you judge it. I'm going to have my wife come and participate. The best guacamole, the best avocado toast, I'm telling you, ever.
The subtitle of this festival is Peace, Love, and Guacamole. So,
Are they Parsons avocados? Is it branded your avocados, or how's it branded?
No, there's no brand. It's just organic California avocados.
And so
we are completely organic, which is a big plus for us.
Just to go down a rabbit hole for a second, you harvest them. Where do they go? Do you sell them to local stores? Is there a distributor that comes picking them up from you? How does that happen?
We have them picked under our own steam, and then yes, they just get sold to distributors, stores, and so on.
Alan, I want to talk about the tour, and quite honestly, I'm a little embarrassed that I didn't realize I could go see you. So I'm definitely going to do that for sure. But I wanted to talk about. I see on Google there's some upcoming tour dates. What about America? When will you be touring North America? We're
pretty confident that the American shows will happen. We start in August and September.
Listen, it's I'm sure you've been around a long time, and you probably get all these proverbial questions. But there's no way, for the younger audience I have a millennial audience. You were part of the Beatles and Abbey Road, and I was curious if you could just comment about that time in your life and what led to Dark Side of the Moon, which may be one of the greatest produced albums ever, if not audio album ever. Something I listen to every single day. I don't know that I could say that I don't listen to something from Dark Side of the Moon every single day. What was it like, and how did you get involved? I mean, how did you get started, and did you know at the time it was as big of a deal as it is today?
I was very much a right place, right time guy. My first experience at Abbey Road happened to coincide with the making of Let It Be and Abbey Road by the Beatles. to ask if I knew how monumentally huge it would be, it was the Beatles. Of course, it was going to be monumentally huge. But I was very, very pleased to be a part of that. As a result of that experience working on the Abbey Road album, and later with Paul as an assistant engineer, that I gradually became more experienced and became a fully fledged recording engineer, as opposed to a tape operator, which is what an assistant does. And did stuff with Paul, and also being a qualified engineer by the time the Dark Side of the Moon sessions were ready to go. I'd previously worked on their previous album, Atom Heart Mother. I did some mixing work for the band on that. And we seemed to get on well, and they asked for me to do the early sessions of Dark Side of the Moon, and it turned out that I managed to do the entire record. So that was quite a feather in my cap, as it were, to have done that album. And of course, it's still around now, amazingly. So very proud of that.
It's more than around. It's something that, I think tone and time have played itself out in terms of one of the most incredible records ever made. I'm curious about your desire to tour. It sounds like a pretty heavy schedule. Is that something that you just love to do, or is it an economic thing that you enjoy both those things, or what would be the reason for traipsing yourself all over the country like that?
I need to earn money. I mean, like everybody else. I have not one, not two, but three mortgages I have to pay. No, it's not. Of course, it's not totally financially motivated, but it's an element of it, of course. But I enjoy playing live. It's fun. From the moment the lights go down to the final applause, it's all great fun. The less enjoyable part is all the traveling. Sleeping on a bumpy bus and lots of flying and traveling, which that's part of the deal. You have to do that. But I've always enjoyed playing live. But having said that, my home, where I feel most at home, is in a recording studio, not on a stage.
Wow. Do you get a lot of requests? I'm curious. Like if a guy like me wanted you to play somewhere, and do the economics make sense for you to do one-offs like that, or does it have to be part of a tour package?
It usually only makes sense unless it's a corporate show, where the fees for bands tend to be higher for corporate shows. But generally, no, one-offs don't usually make sense at all. You just try and make it every show fit into a sensible routing for a tour.
How does a tour like that get put together? Like now, you're going to some smaller venues. I love Ojai, by the way, incredible place up there. I love Santa Barbara. Ojai's one of my favorite places in the world. How does a tour like that get put together? Is it something you do yourself, or does a producer come to you, a promoter, and say, "Hey, I want to drag you all over the country and set it up for you"? How does it happen?
There are a couple of promoters that deal with a series of markets. We work with a guy called Danny Zalesko, who does all kinds of big venues. So we've become very friendly with him. And but the tour itself is usually organized by our agent. That's a guy called Justin Hirschman, who runs a company, or who works for a company called AGI in New York. So tours generally come from agents, not promoters. So an agent will call around to promoters, say, "Hey, Alan Parsons is available to do a show between this date and this date," and then an itinerary will materialize through those phone calls. I have just signed a contract for a new record, but very little has actually even been written yet. but I'm only too aware that I need to start being creative and start writing songs. Get the band to contribute songs as well. All of the songs on The Secret were essentially collaborations between me and the band. Yeah, I've got to got to get my creative hat on and get to work.
When you sign a new contract and they ask you to make a new album, you know, I guess this will be for all the creators out there, people who want to be like Alan Parsons. How long of a time frame do they give you, or is this kind of open ended? What is it like when you agree to do something like that? How long do you generally give yourself to produce that album?
I think usually a 6-month period is about right to go completely from scratch to the final mix, final artwork, final delivery, credits, all that stuff. The actual recording time, probably, you know, if I manage my time efficiently and don't waste days with personnel I don't need, I think we'll get it done in probably 3 months. 3 months of intensive recording. And the rest.
I stream your music every day. Every day, in my office, you know, I'm a financial guy. I run a private equity firm. We're traded publicly on the New York American Stock Exchange. I'd be curious about how streaming's treating you. That is it something that economically is making sense for you, or are you disappointed with streaming?
I think I'm basically disappointed with streaming, or at least the earnings that artists are getting through streaming. That's why artists have to play live. It's part of their requirement to survive. Nobody buys CDs anymore, or very few people buy CDs. There's a resurgence of vinyl, which is nice. So people are buying vinyl, but you know, I think the law has to change for the likes of Spotify and how much artists earn through streaming. But it's a pretty sad situation for artists right now.
Yeah, I recently interviewed Phil Quartararo. As you probably know, he had a Virgin and a couple other incredible labels for a while, and he was telling me that that part was pretty tough for people. But when your new album gets released, it'll of course automatically be able to stream right away, right? I mean, it'll be out there. Everyone can stream it correctly right away, right?
I would imagine so. Yes, we're certainly going to be more aware of streaming possibilities with this next album than we have been in the past, because it's the new way. It's the way people hear music these days, streaming, and even the concept of buying a song from Apple seems sort of an ancient memory. Everything seems to be streaming, and podcasts and video, YouTubes, all these modern technologies.
I was recently listening to Blake Shelton talk about a song called Austin that he did 20 years ago, and how he hates listening to it or playing it. Every time he goes to play, he sees it on the playlist. And so I thought of you today about the playlist idea, about how if I go to see you, am I going to hear some of your older stuff? Is that a problem for you? Does it upset you that you have to play a lot of that older stuff, or do you kind of understand that people want to hear it? Because, I mean, you have done some overwhelming, iconic tunes that you want to hear. I mean, I was playing one of them today, and it's just great listening music, and it reminds me of everything that has been. I'm curious as to what that's like for you, knowing people want to hear your old stuff. How do you deal with that?
We've always, ever since I started playing live in 1994, we've always done hits. I mean, you're right. I mean, what would be the point of appearing on a stage if we didn't give the audience what they want to hear? So yes, we always play hits. If we have a current album, we might play a couple of new songs, but in general, it's hits. I mean, if we didn't do we didn't do Sirius and Eye in the Sky, they'd probably ask for their money back. Yeah.
Oh no. There's one other one I love that I would, if I were having you play or something, I would be like begging you to play it. And I always
let me guess. It's games people play, or possibly Don't Answer Me.
Don't Answer Me. Sorry. That's it. I can't help it. Sorry. What are you gonna do, man? You make music.
Don't Answer Me. Back in the day when we recorded it, was my attempt to emulate the Phil Spector sound. So I think it was reasonably successful in that respect. I think it's a big echoey sound on that song.
What's your favorite track? It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's not common. What's your favorite thing you have that you play that's your favorite tune? That no matter what it is.
I'm pretty keen on a song called Limelight, which was I think it was on Stereotomy, and that was a great song. Give Eric Wilson a lot of credit for writing that song, and a wonderful vocal performance by Gary Brooker of, I'm sure you know, Procol Harum. That's my favorite song from the catalog.
Wow. Could there be a residency? Could there be a residency for you here?
That's what we're talking about. Yes.
Oh, breaking news!
It's a show that I would be involved with, but it's not just an Alan Parsons live project show. It's something else.
When you did Sirius, did you ever think it was going to become what it's become? I know it's a sports venue issue associated with Michael Jordan, Fabulous, Bombs, all the stuff that take place, but everyone recognizes that song today. I mean, it is a recognizable song that you did a long time ago. Did you have any idea when you did it was going to be like that? Did you suspect it would be?
Sports theme was the last thing that I was thinking of at that time. It was just a rock intro to a song called Eye in the Sky. That's all it was. It was the intro to Eye in the Sky.
Michael Jordan, if you're watching, you got to write him a check. Alan, you can get a hold of his agent, write him a check for that song. Alan Parsons, I am awestruck that you're on this show, and I am blown away, and I'm so grateful you did the show.
You're very kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
No, I'm going to explain to you real quick. We're rolling yet. There's a reason for it.